Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It is Tuesday. You know what that means. That means it's good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. And in the second portion of the show today, we're going to have former Gator tight end back in the Spurrier, Charlie Dean, join us. He's got two boys playing college football. We'll talk about him, get some Spurrier stories, and go from there. But in the meantime, we're going to go to the Titan More hotline, and we're going to be joined by Buddy Martin. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Shane, from Ocala and Williston and Marson, the home of Louis Oosthuizen. We're claiming him now.
Yes, indeed. I want to try to get a little foursome with Louis one day out at Golden Ocala. That would be fun.
Yeah, it would. Well, that's where you belong.
Would you take him or me? Who would you take in the match, buddy?
I'd take him, Shane.
What if he get? But that's the great thing about golf. If he gives me the correct amount of strokes, you never know.
So Shaner's now saying he could kick the butt of the guy that finished in second place in majors 100 times, and you're saying you can take him
if he gives me the right amount of shots.
What's the right amount? 10.
My handicap is a 3.5. He's probably a -4.
So
he gives me 7 shots. I'll play him. 7 or 8 shots. I'll play him.
Okay. I'm sure that word will be out in any moment now. He'll be quaking in his boots.
So you obviously, I will play Tiger Woods. I'll play anybody if you give them the right amount of shots. That's the great thing when you go play with your buddies on Friday. If they're not very good golfers, you give them the strokes they need to make it a competitive game. That's why
you and me, Shane, as a 22 handicapper in my lifetime, I know about that advantage.
Right.
I took advantage of it a lot. Yeah, I got it down to about a 17 for about 1 year, and that was it.
I grew up, but I played the Chris Couches, the DeMarcos, the Dudley Harts, all those guys. They're PGA Tour players. If you get the right amount of shots, it makes the match very competitive and fun. And so I would love to do that. That would be fun.
Shane versus Louis. Okay, come and see it. We'll get a little.
You're dang right. We'll get R&L Trucking to sponsor it,
and we'll get which will be of course would be. You want the folks at the World of Questions Center, where Brendan Martin is the media director, to set it up for you. So
yes, indeed.
Same group, by the way.
Yeah, same guy owns all of it. He's on all of Ocala here before we know it.
Yeah,
buddy. I know you said you watched hockey last night. The Lightning take a 1-0 lead in the Stanley Cup Finals. It was a close game until the third period. It was 2-1. And then, with about 3 minutes into the third period, they scored to make it 3-1. So, Montreal, as JC has told us many times on this show, they were a very average hockey team this year, and you're going to see it. It would not surprise me if Tampa Bay sweeps this series.
Well, look, I used to cover a little hockey in my day. I was the 7th game years ago when the Lightning won it in Tampa, and I covered it in Denver a little bit, and I covered it in New York a little bit. I'm not an expert on it by any means, but I hadn't really watched it. But last night, after the horrible SEC baseball series, it was not a good contest when the team scores 7 in the first inning.
But buddy, do you realize? I believe going into the 8th inning, you know how many hits Vanderbilt had?
Doesn't matter.
3.
That's all I needed.
Well, no, it's because the starting pitcher for Mississippi State, he walked 3 and hit 2 in the first inning. And, Mississippi State's going to win tonight. They're too good of a baseball team.
I wouldn't be shocked. But I can tell you that I'm sure that Christian McLeod will never forget last night. If you've ever been in a game and pitched on where you didn't get the ball over and you walk people and you had no control and a big spotlight's on you, I did that at a small level once, and I'll tell you, it was the worst night of my life. I stayed for 4 innings, so they came and got me. I was hoping they could get me the first, but he just couldn't get it across the plate. And look, I mean, here's the other thing. Let's be honest. Mississippi State needs to win a World Series sooner or later. They got a great program. They have had great players. They got
I think
they got to win one.
Yeah, I think the two teams you're seeing right now are the two best baseball programs in America. Honestly,
Could be.
You know, I
maybe NC State, but we'll never know.
No, they're not. They weren't even ranked in the. I mean, they weren't even.
I'm just telling you, it was a better team at the end. It might have been NC State might have taken them. I mean, you never know.
Well, that's true, but I'm talking about the overall picture. Those, in my opinion, Vanderbilt and Mississippi State are the two best baseball programs right now going.
Yeah, I get it. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Certainly, they got the history. They got the record. They've been to the dance enough times. Vanderbilt's just got power up and down the lineup. They got great pitching. Their defense is exceptional. And they're a hell of a baseball team. That's why they're winning, why they're number one, probably why they're going to win the World Series. So we'll see. But I'd just like to see Mississippi State show up, win one tonight, make it a competition. I really do like that program and like that. I'd like to see them have a chance to get back to the World Series and win it one time.
Well, I mean, I have to disagree about the show up. I mean, I thought Mississippi State, outside the pitcher, who basically the first inning, the game was over. Like I said, Mississippi State had 5 hits in the game. Vanderbilt had 5 hits in the game. It was the 7-run in the first inning. And as you mentioned, buddy, you being a former pitcher, the guy just couldn't find the strike zone, and he put his team in a bad spot. And it happens. That's baseball. Hopefully Mississippi State will come back and win tonight. They need to for sure. But I wouldn't say it was a failure. I mean, hell, they got there. So disappointing. Disappointing. Well, it is disappointing. Anytime you lose, I don't care if they would have lost 2-1.
But I mean, you expect 2 good teams like this to have a contest. You know, there was no contest.
Well, buddy, it was again. Remember, it ain't like Vanderbilt had 15 hits.
You got your head in the clouds, Shane. The fact that they got their butts kicked last night. Okay.
No, they didn't. I will argue with you all day long. If Vanderbilt had 12 hits and scored 8 runs, I would say okay. They had 5 freaking hits.
What's Coach Spurrier saying? Spurrier says that stats are for losers.
Well, he keeps stats a lot. He'll tell you exactly how many yards
when they work for him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I don't think it was it was just a bad first inning. From there on out, it was Mississippi State outscored them. How about that?
We see things differently, which makes for a better show.
Yes. Refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. June is your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking with Buddy Martin here, John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. How many times did Mike Martin go to Omaha? Some teams just can't close it. Florida State, I think, has been 23 or 24 times. I don't even know if they ever played for the national title.
And what does that mean? It means they're an abject failure.
Well, I don't know about that.
The program was successful, but the patient died. Okay, I'm sorry, they didn't get there. Okay,
so us being Gator fans, you're basically saying our baseball program's been a failure because we've only won once.
No, I didn't say you. I didn't say Florida. Florida's program is still good, but Mike Martin, as you said, when they're 20. If Sully had been there 23 times and not one, would he be a failure? Yes, he would be.
I see. I'm going to disagree with that because I know how hard it is to get there.
I don't care about consolation prizes and runner-ups and all that stuff. Okay, just show me the trophy. Your coach taught you that. It's about the championships, man.
I agree, but also you have to have good players to get to that point, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. I mean, if you want to talk Coach Spurrier, think about it. If he does not beat Florida State in '96, is his tenure at Florida a failure? No, he won nine games every year.
He won a championship too. And by the way, he also won 6 SEC, so there is a championship involved. You were in part of that.
Right.
So certainly you have that.
So my argument is FSU had to have won some baseball championships in the ACC.
All right, hold on. You're not going to sit here and compare ACC baseball to winning the SEC in football, I hope.
I'm not, but you just said championships mean something, and I'm just telling you, as much as I hate Florida State, Florida State going to the World Series 23 times is a damn accomplishment. I know they never won it.
Good. Give them a runner-up trophy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that we see differently because my point was Florida's been there quite a few times. And if we didn't win it in 2017,
that's the way the ball bounces. That's the way the cookie crumbles. If you don't win it, you're a runner-up. You're a consolation prize.
All right. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one, buddy. Let's see. What else did you want to talk about today? So back to the hockey game last night. It's how many years has the Lightning been in Tampa?
I'm gonna have somebody will tell us on here. I'm gonna guess 20.
Has it been that long?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I remember when they got here. I remember they had somebody could look it up. I don't know, but it's been a while, and they've had they're gonna probably win a second Stanley Cup championship, right? Or is it third? I forget. Or third, I forget.
Yeah, I can't remember how many. Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, the only official law firm partner of Florida Gators. He says you have to make it there, and making it to the postseason is a win. Frustrating when you can't finish it. It's better than sitting at home.
Consolation prize, yeah.
It's not a consolation prize, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
No. So the teams that lose the Super Bowl, it's just like, oh, hell, terrible year. You didn't win it.
That's the way it was for Tom Landry for a lot of years in Dallas.
Well, it's a hell of a lot better going there and losing than not getting there at all.
Shane, I understand that. It's better to go 12-4 than to go 4-12. But that's not the point. The point is you're there to win championships. And
right, but only one team can win.
Yeah, only but you can't get your butt handed to you like Mississippi State did last night, like Florida did in the Fiesta Bowl. That was a great team.
Hang on a second. Those are not even comparable. We got our tails handed to us against Nebraska. Everybody agree. If you watched the baseball game last night, it was 8-2. Vanderbilt scores 7 runs in the first.
Yeah, it's over.
Off 2 hits.
I don't care if it's off no hits.
Okay, but it's not like they dominated the game. They had one good inning because of the pitching of Mississippi State's starting pitcher. And so we'll have.
Shane, are those glasses okay? I don't think they got maroon tint to them.
No, I'm not even a Mississippi State fan.
You're talking like one. You're talking like Mississippi.
I watch sports differently than most people because I've been in those uniforms and I've been as a coach. And only one team can win. And it's not that Mississippi State played horrible. Their pitcher put them in a bad situation. It's no different than when a quarterback throws 3 or 4 interceptions. That guy put them in a bad position.
Is he on the team, by the way? He's part of the team, right?
Right.
So that's the team. You lose as a team, Jim. You know that.
I agree. But again, it's not like they got dominated, buddy. Vanderbilt had 5 hits.
Well, like you said, we disagree. We choose to disagree, and that's fine. That's what makes horse races. But I thought that the Lightning just played. I mean, my assessment after not seeing it play, they skate like demons.
Well, yeah, they're the best team in hockey.
Fast. I mean, and they're physical. Every time Montreal tried to start a scrap, they got their butts kicked physically.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a comparison to that hockey game last night.
Yeah.
That's like Alabama playing Missouri, okay? The Canadians are not a very good hockey team, and they're going to get swept because they only played the other teams in Canada the entire year. Somehow they beat the very good Las Vegas team out there. So, but anyway, enough of hockey. I think it's going to be a boring series, honestly.
John Cooper says tonight was just one. The series is a long way from over. What a coach he's been.
There's no question. All right, buddy. I guess what is today? Tuesday. In 2 days, the National Letter of Intent. Letter of Intent. The name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? I know we've talked briefly about it. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm so confused, and I keep thinking of something every night. Like last night on the show, I was thinking, and we talked about it some. That I don't know what they're allowed to do, and neither the coaches. The biggest thing is who's going to govern this, who's going to watchdog it. The league can't handle it. The NCAA for sure can't handle it. What can you do and what can't you do? There are going to be some things that are going to go wrong. I said last night, well, how about this? They can go get jobs. They can go earn money. They can get sponsorship money. What the heck? If I'm a coach, I got a camp. I'm going to say, I'm going to hire 10 of my players to work in my camp. Why not? Is that legal? I don't know.
That's legal. It's legal now. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just one small thing. But now you've got, okay, let's come up with a name of a big sponsor.
Gator Bait Magazine.
The Gator Bait Magazine. Let's say Gator Bait Magazine signs up, name a player. I don't care who.
Emory Jones.
Emory Jones signs him up. We pay him. He's our guy. And we've got our big press conference going at 2:00 in the afternoon. And Mullins says, Emory, you got to be here. You can't be on that show. Well, Coach, I'm getting paid to do this. I don't care what you're doing. You got to be here to practice. There's going to be conflicting schedules. And I hadn't even brought this up. Now you bring up the legalized gambling part of this thing. That's a whole nother deal. Are players now bet on their teams, like on DraftKings? I don't know. There's so much change about it. And I guess really what we're dealing with, we're dealing with a professional league now. We're dealing with it's the NFL junior and all the problems that go with that. And I guess they'll figure it out, but there are going to be some rough spots. I know you hate it as a coach. I know you hate it. And yet you also feel the players should get some kind of remuneration. Maybe if they had started paying them something before, this wouldn't have happened. Now they got a mess on their hands, and everybody wants to walk away from it. Shane, like, okay, not my problem. I'm not going to deal with it.
What's different is, these players, they're still getting the cost of attendance, which is quite a bit of money.
They can pull the scholarship, huh?
What's that?
What kind of leverage does Mullen have? They pull the scholarship on the guy?
No, I'm saying they already have the cost of attendance that they're getting, which, in my opinion, is plenty of money. I have a problem with it because, first of all, buddy, I don't think players are going to get what they're thinking they're going to get. And then one reason why I say that, when you see players tweeting about, and July 1st, the NIL starts in the state of Florida, wherever, please direct message me if you want me to endorse your product. Okay. If you're asking people, that means nobody's contacting you, right?
They don't know what to do or how to do it.
Well, first of all, Gator Bait Magazine can't go to player X.
I got to go to the school.
Here's the deal. You have to run it through the school. So the school's going to have to approve it and say, okay, this is when you can do your interviews. If you go to the podium and you want to wear a Gator Bait hat, I'm just throwing things out there. I'm not sure exactly.
Point, yeah.
But it's not like,
maybe I'll get somebody to wear this.
Yeah, it's not like Buddy Martin can call up a player tonight and say, hey, we're going to give you $5,000. Come down tonight and speak to the Ocala Quarterback Club.
Yeah.
I think it's got to all go. Paperwork's got to be signed, sealed, delivered, and all that. But I still don't think players are going to make the kind of money they think they're going to make, buddy.
Probably not.
Why wouldn't? I mean, think about it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's talk for a second about Spurrier's restaurant or whatever. I mean, if they decide they want a guy and they want to go out there to the restaurant on his free time for 2 hours, he's worth $20,000 a year. That's pretty good money for a college kid, in my opinion. I don't know.
But again, if you're a booster, you're not allowed to do this with any athletes, which takes. I mean, that's all the people that are going to be paying these players. Why? It's in the bylaws. It's in the.
Yeah, but I mean, a booster, a business could do it in the name of a business could do it. They're under their business. I think let's stop a guy from Joe's car lot coming down.
Just going by what it said, what the University of Florida sent out in an email to all the boosters, and that's what it said. John says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. How about Graham Mertz getting a trademark yesterday? Who's Graham Mertz?
He's a quarterback for Wisconsin. That's the thing about it. If you don't know who he is, what are your chances of getting money? Maybe up in Wisconsin, but not here. And that's the point. These players think because they play football in West Texas, they're going to be a national, star, and they're going to get money. So Graham Mertz, you can't even name his name. He's not going to get a lot of money.
Right. But I mean, trademarks, logos, clothing lines. I mean, I don't know who's going to buy that stuff.
What about DraftKings? Can DraftKings hire people?
I don't know. I mean, DraftKings is all about fantasy football, right?
Well, it's about gambling.
Yes, but if somebody can correct me wrong on DraftKings, I did it a few years ago. So let's take golf for example.
They advertise where you can bet on golf up to the last hole.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can. I thought it was where you pick your players. You have like a salary cap, you pick your players, and however they finish.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's as you said, it's going to be a mess, buddy. I think I'm more concerned about the locker room more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What I don't know how that's going to work. Let's just wait and see. Like we said, you want someone good at damage control, somebody who can, navigate this new turf. I think they got the right guy, Dan Mullen. But that is you're going to need a staff of people just to take care of that, which is not what a coach needs. More things to worry about, but everybody's got it, including Nick Saban. So it's the game is on. Let's see who's got. And Alabama got a huge advantage on this. And that's what I mean. What's Mississippi State going to do in football? It's going to be hard.
Well, let me tell you something. Ole Miss has a lot of money.
Ole Miss does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But let me. Here's the thing, though, and I said this the other day, and I don't know if it was to you, buddy, or somebody else. It doesn't matter. Let's just use little Buddy Martin coming out of Forest High School.
It wasn't Forest, it was Ocala. Just get that.
Okay, right. Ocala High. My bad. Ocala High. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's say Kansas State wants to pay Buddy Martin $50,000 to come play quarterback for him.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Okay, but check. Bear Bryant at Alabama wants Buddy Martin. You got Georgia, you got Auburn, you got Ohio State, all these big time programs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're going to pay you maybe $10,000. Is Buddy Martin going to take $50,000 to go get his brains beat out at Kansas State? Or are you going to take lesser money and go play for a national title?
Depends on whether or not I've got a pro future. If it's Scott Brantley, who's the most recruited player ever come out of here, and today he had those offers from Woody Hayes, Bear Bryant, whatever. If you think you're going to have a future in the game, you go where you won't get your brains beat out, don't you? You go where somebody you can play for a championship and not become cannon fodder and not get beat up. That'd be my guess, probably.
Yeah, my point I was trying to make was the top 6 or 7 teams, regardless of the money that's thrown out there or endorsements or whatever you think there's going to be out there, they're still going to get the best players because players want to go win.
Yeah, and here's the other thing I thought about. You're absolutely right, Shane. Here's the other thing I thought about. What leverage do they have? Well, they can sit his butt on the bench. If that comes down to that, the coach has got the power to sit him down. So then what happens to his endorsements when he's not playing every game? I mean, there's that. What else? They don't have many things. That's the one thing. Isn't it Coach Spurrier who always quotes John Wooden to say that the bench is the coach's biggest ally, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's going to be a nightmare, and I guarantee you, if you asked any coach if they like this, they're going to tell you they're all for it.
Yeah, but they hate it.
Behind closed doors, they don't want this at all because it's ruining college athletics.
Did you watch Grant Holloway run?
I always watch Grant Holloway run, and I saw. Did you see NBC Sports blow it, putting Florida State, and they had him from the state of Alabama?
I did not see that. No, it's hard to tell in those uniforms too exactly who's where.
But well, he's a professional now, so he does not wear Gator stuff.
But none of them seems like they all wear something.
Well, a few of them do that are still in college. They wear their team. But if you're already out of college, you wear he's an Adidas guy.
Yeah, boy, he's a beautiful strider. He runs those Olympics. It's so smooth. You could put a glass of water on his shoulders in those Olympics, and he wouldn't spell it. He's incredible smooth, fun to watch.
Yes, Gators, I think, have a total of, I can't remember if it's 13 or 17 athletes.
A lot of Gators in Tokyo.
Yeah, not all of them for the U.S., but they're still Gators. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. That's 352-400-4550. Call them today at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. A few more minutes here with Buddy Martin, and in the second portion of today's show, we're joined by former tight end Charlie Dean. He'll have some good Coach Spurrier stories for sure. All right, so, Buddy, you're not going to watch the College World Series tonight, huh?
I'll watch it. I got the show to do tonight. By the way, we got our double coverage team on tonight. Their show with we got two of the smartest women I know, and I hate to say this like this because it sounds like I'm being sexist, but they know football. And you tell me women who know football, and just because of the nature of the fact that they don't aren't interested. But Cassidy and Jackie can talk some ball now. They're really good at what they do, and they do their own show too. It's just I sit in to punch their buttons and drop by and say a couple of words. It's their show, so it'll be fun. And then tomorrow night, by the way, we're going to have Scott Carter on. We're going to talk a little about what's going on with all these Olympians, and then we've got other folks involved in the Jacksonville situation. That anyway, not important. I mean to plug the whole show, but that's what's happening in my world right now.
No, real quick, buddy. I know when's your podcast with Urban coming out?
Well, it's done. It drops, as they say. I guess that's the phrase, on the 30th. Then it starts a whole string of 20.
Which is tomorrow, right?
No, 30th of July.
Oh, of July.
Yeah, we don't start until the 30th of July. Then we do 20 of them over the season, we're not talking any X's and O's and not a whole lot of ball, some, but I'm asking him questions about decisions, why he chose to come back. And I said, we didn't even discuss Tebow yet, which we will, obviously. I want to get some personal insights from Urban on what he's interested in. He has a lot of interesting things to say when he gets on the subject because he dissects it and goes after it. So that'll be fun. It's called The Best Fridays of Football. Right now, we're planning to do that show. It'll be on the Jaguars Radio Network, and it'll be live on our show from probably Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on Fridays around 2 or 3 o'clock. We haven't decided yet.
So are you taping the entire season right now, or is it
we're just doing one at a time. We got our first out of the way to have what they call evergreen, have one. We're not going to try to keep up with the news as to who's going, what's going to happen. We're just going to keep up with overall philosophy, progress. I mean, for instance, there's the whole thing about the waterfront and the new facility that Shad Khan's building. I said, they're building a whole city around you down there. Theta Jackson. I mean, it's amazing what Shad Khan is spending. And he's betting on Urban. So.
Yeah. So it's, they're less than a month away from training camp. And so I know a lot of people.
25th or 6th, something like that in July.
Yeah. You gonna go watch any practices, buddy?
I might. Depends. I might. They're not open right now. They don't even know yet exactly what the NFL is going to allow. I got a notification yesterday from the University of Florida and the SEC. Only one person per media outlet is allowed to go to SEC media days. Which is usually we would send 2 or 3. We have 2 outlets. One is the Buddy Martin Show. One's Gator Bay. But we're going to probably end up sending Cassidy, and that'll be it. That's coming up in, a couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, less than 3 weeks.
Yeah, so everything, we're still waiting to find out what we're allowed to do, Shane.
Yeah, buddy, before we let you go, this day in sports brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience, great culture and benefits, and opportunity for growth. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give Comfort Temp Company a call. It's 352-376-2366. This day in sports in 1995, the Memphis Mad Dogs. Did you cover the Memphis Mad Dogs?
I did not cover the Memphis Mad Dogs.
Do you know who they are?
Well, they were not the ABA. No, I don't.
Well, remember the Canadian Football League, the CFL, went into the US.
That's right. They went down to Tennessee. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, yeah. And that was the first game for the Memphis Mad Dogs against the Calgary Stampeders. It's interesting because Shreveport had a team, and they were trying to sign me away from the Chicago Bears.
Really?
Playing Shreveport. Yep. And I said, no, thank you.
I don't know why.
Well, right? I wasn't playing, but, so.
Hey, I remember when Memphis, they signed three Dolphins. There was a pretty big ripple in things. Remember that?
Say that one more time.
Memphis, the USFL team.
The Showboats.
Pepper Rogers was the coach, I believe.
Yeah.
And they signed Zonka and Warfield and Kick, didn't they? Is that who they signed? I believe. I can't remember. But
those guys played?
Yeah.
For the Showboats?
They did.
I think Reggie White played for the Showboats.
He may have, but I'm telling you, there was at least 2 or maybe 3 Dolphins. I know Zonka for sure, and I know Warfield for sure. I think Kick was the third one. So, yeah, they played. Look it up.
Man, was that at the end of their career, obviously, right?
No, they came back and played for the Dolphins for 5 or 6 years.
Really?
It's a big deal, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Well, buddy, I think you need to change the name from Double Covers to Double Trouble. I think that sounds better.
I think you're probably right, but I don't get to say. They tell me what to do. I just do what I'm told. And yeah, they'll bring it tonight. They always do, and they have. I'll say this: for some reason, women seem to have better insights than men when it comes to things. They kind of get it better than we do. I don't know why. That's been my experience, and I've worked with a number of women over the years, some good ones, and I wish there were more in the media because they make more sense sometimes than guys like us.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, buddy. Have a good day.
All right,
Enjoy the
Shannon.
baseball game. Sit back and relax and watch some good college baseball.
All right, I'm going to call you if Mississippi State gets behind 5-0. Okay.
Okay, you do that.
All right. Good luck
All
to
right,
the
that's
Bulldogs.
Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. We come back. We're going to be joined by former Gator tight end Charlie Dean, talking a little Spurrier era and get some good Spurrier stories from here. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the
Thanks,
Crime
Shane.
Prevention Security System Studios.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. South State Bank, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Silverback Concrete Company. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Point's where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, Dave & Buster's, Nike, Les Macarons, French Pastries, Kilwins, and coming summer of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Viger's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan MR hotline. Head down to Tampa. We're joined by former Gator tight end Charlie Dean. Good morning, Chuck. How are you, my man?
Morning. How are y'all doing?
We're doing well. Charlie, being a former Gator, first of all, you grew up down in Citrus County. Your dad was a sheriff down there for a long time. But when it came time to be a Gator, who recruited you down there?
Like you said, I had a couple options and whatnot. I had Ole Miss, had Penn State, and Auburn to a certain extent. And then, I grew up an old, if you can imagine that. My dad and my sister went to Florida State. That's kind of where it was supposed to go. And after my sophomore year, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to go there. So Wayne McDuffie recruited me at Florida State, and it just, like I said, it was just the more as I got older or whatever and got in 11th and 12th grade, it was I kind of, for whatever reason, I'm like I want to wear orange and blue. So
Yeah, and you signed Galen Hall as the head coach, and then talk a little bit about, I've had different players on that made that transition from when Galen, obviously myself, was recruited by Galen. Just the biggest difference you saw when Coach Spurrier came in from the Galen Hall era.
Well, when I got recruited by Coach Hall's staff, I got recruited as an outside linebacker and then as a tight end. And Florida was stacked at that time at outside linebacker, Murray. Just name them all. They were really, the depth chart was, I'd have been sitting for a while. So the quickest way to get on the field was to play tight end. And obviously when we got there, Kurt Kirkpatrick, Harvey Thomas, trying to think who else was there. I think that was it. They didn't have a whole lot of guys on the depth chart, and they brought in 3 of us to play tight end. And that's, it's kind of being able to get on the field is kind of the path I took. And so we were more, as you well know, we were more of a run-oriented offense. And that was more my, being a little bit physical, whatever. Blocking tight end, catching, secondary. And so that was, again, like I said, that was my first opportunity to get on the field. I think it was when we played Mississippi State in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in '89. And I got to play, which was pretty exciting. I was a little undersized at the time. I was only like 225 pounds, but we got to get on the field and play tight end. So, because we were, again, a more run oriented offense. And then with Coach Hall and Whitey Jordan, everybody left. We went to pass first, run second. And so, again, like I said, I had to adapt my game a little bit to more of a pass catching and then integrate it with a running. And as you will remember, Kurt, man, that was his gig, man. He fit that to a T, coming in with Coach Spurrier's offense in the '90s. And he was a incredible route runner and had great hands. And so, I had to adapt my game to that.
Yeah. So. Speaking with Charlie Dean here on the Titan More Hotline. Charlie, we got a text on the Titan More text line. It comes from Joe. Joe wants to know, Charlie, what was it like having John Reese as your tight end coach?
John absolutely taught us about offense. It wasn't about playing tight end. It was about playing, all right, this is what Coach Spurrier expects from everybody on the field, which was, he taught the game. And, it was funny because we would go up to the line of scrimmage and pretty much you look and see what defense they were running and what the defensive backs and the linebackers, where they were positioned. We pretty much knew what coach was going to call and kind of what y'all were going to audible to, because you'd see the coverage. You're like, okay, we're going to do this. He's going to do that. Whereas before, it was, you were taught, hey, listen, block here, block there, and everything else will take care of itself. Where John was like, his motivation or his coaching style was I want to teach you football, not to play tight end, but I want you to learn how to play football, which, like I said, I'm forever grateful for him.
Yeah, no question. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Charlie, when you look back at your Gator career, is there one moment, one game that stands out in your mind the most?
I guess, being my family went to Florida State. I guess it was in '92. We played up in Tallahassee, and those guys, as you remember, were loaded. And we were young, really young, and had, Odom and Green playing offensive line, true freshmen, and going up into Tallahassee. And actually, we competed for a quarter or two, but that was the first touchdown that I ever my first touchdown at Florida, the one you threw me on a tight end delay. And so that was memorable. I mean, that was the one game I look back and I'm like, yep, we got pummeled. But you know what? That was my first touchdown, which was kind of, bittersweet. So.
Yeah, that was it got out of hand. I got hurt in that game, and Coach pulled me and trying to get ready for the Alabama game in the first SEC championship game. And what's interesting is I was flipping through the channels the other day, Charlie. You caught some balls in that SEC championship game.
Oh, we were balling. We were rolling, man. I think I had 3 catches that game. But get back to the FSU game. Again, like I said, what was also, I think you remember, we came in at half, and my locker just happened to be next to Terry Dean, and Terry's was next to yours. And that's when Coach came in and said something along the lines of, Shane, we'll give you a break or whatever. We got to get ready for the SEC championship game. Terry, get ready to go in. And I looked over at Terry, and Terry's eyes got big as, saucers,
Yeah.
and and I said, man, those guys are pissed off today. And I'm like, if you hit that 3-step drop, it's not there, man. Brother, I love you. I'm like, man, hit to the sidelines. I was like, get what you can get and get out of bounds. I said, because they are coming today.
Yeah. Charlie, when you look back to, when we were playing, the Tennessee was such a huge game for us, obviously Florida State. Georgia, we always pretty much manhandled the Dogs. Was there one opponent that you enjoyed playing against the most?
Well, obviously Georgia was fun. I mean, because the crowds used to be, the stadium used to be half and half, and it was such, again, like I said, the electricity, the enthusiasm from both sides was always there. It was that when you walked down the field, it wasn't dominantly, Gator fans. It wasn't dominant, whoever we played opponent wise, but that was always fun. I mean, playing in Jacksonville was as you well know, was always a good time. I always liked going into Death Valley. Playing at LSU was just, that vibe you always get when you come out. And I believe you remember this. The first game, I think it was the last game that Galen coached. We come out, again, like I said, we go into Tiger Stadium before the game, and they're rocking our bus as we're going down into the bowels of, Death Valley. For an 18-year-old kid that came from Inverness, Florida, and to be able to, say, yeah, we were on the bus, that was just like, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is why you play in the SEC.
Yeah, Tiger Stadium is crazy. Charlie, you went and played for the Packers for a year. I think you had a back injury. Was Favre the quarterback at that time?
Yeah, it's funny because I was having a conversation with somebody else the other day, and we were talking about this. The 4 quarterbacks that were in camp they were incredible. It was Brett, Ty Detmer, Mark Brunell, and the 4th guy was Kurt Warner.
Oh, wow.
And, and Kurt got cut the first week of practice, and it, go figure.
Yeah, that is crazy. So, Charlie, you've been living in Tampa. You have a tremendous family, 2 boys and a daughter, been married a long time. But you have 2 boys that are now playing college football. Charlie Jr. or Charlie III plays for Harvard.
C3.
He plays for Harvard. And then your youngest, Austin, just signed with Rutgers, and Greg Schiano. Talk a little bit about, Ivy League football. Was that a big adjustment for young Charlie?
The biggest adjustment was coming in time management, as we all, again, like I said, coming from high school to college. And in the Ivies, and especially at Harvard, you're a student first and then an athlete second. And there's no assistance, there's no tutors, there's no one there helping you out in your classes. If you start struggling, it's up to you individually to go to your labs and get help. And he would always tell you, like, listen, I'm in class with the smartest people in the world. And so when I'm taking a test or whatnot, I always look, what's that curve going to be today? And so anyhow, So that was the biggest adjustment for him as far as on the academic side. And then on the athletic side was, just again, adjusting to the fact that, hey, look, our schedules are tight, and, you can get in and get out. And again, like I said, it's probably not what you and I went through as far as being able to have the support staff is there. I would say that they have support staff. It's just not the same. And again, like I said, he made adjustments and whatnot. Now, the biggest misnomer is that these guys are really smart and they're not very talented. And especially at Harvard. And that's not true at all, because 2 or 3 of the guys that had the grad transfers, one was this past year was a starting center for LSU. Mm-hmm. And another one of their offensive linemen is going to be the starting right guard for Penn State. And then they've had some other ones that have gone on some other schools. But again, they're talented athletes, very talented athletes. But they just happen to be really smart, talented athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. When Austin was being recruited, and obviously he signed with Rutgers, and I believe he's already up there. What made him choose to be a Scarlet Knight?
Number one, his high school coach, Coach Sayo at Berkeley Prep, had a relationship with Coach Schiano previously. Coach Schiano's kids went to school at Berkeley while he was the head coach with the Bucks, and coaching style, a lot alike. Personalities, a lot alike. And again, like I said, Austin didn't get to take, like all the other student athletes that came out last year, didn't get to take an official visit. So basically, It was all Zoom. And it's hard to, as you well know, and as other student athletes that have been recruited, you like to get on campus and get a vibe, and because you like to talk to other players and kind of see what they say about it, and you try to forecast, hey, you think I'm gonna like it? And unfortunately, he didn't get to do that. So all the Zoom calls that we went through, it was kind of like they were all basically, I want to say they were all the same, but they were basically the same. Hey, this is where you'll live. This is where you'll eat. This is where you'll train. Hey, look how great it is. And it's hard to get a good vibe on that. And I guess you roll the dice, and it's you go with your gut feeling. And his gut feeling was, number one, my high school coach has got a great relationship with Coach Schiano. So number one, and he says, and I trust my high school coach, and he says I'm the right fit. I would be the right fit for him. So, he just went through that checklist. It's a really good school, business school and engineering school. And those are 2 things that he's going to study. And so he said, hey, I got to roll the dice, and I hope I like it there. And so far, man, he hasn't been disappointed.
Well, that's awesome. Hopefully y'all bought him a lot of warm clothes, because it's going to be damn cold up there. Hey, Charlie, I got to ask you this. You also have a daughter. I think she's in the cheerleading. How hard is it for you? You just suck it up and bite your tongue when you have to go to all those cheerleading events?
No, again, like I said, past couple of years, my wife and I have split time. And so she would say, listen, you go to the football camps, you go do the football aspect with the boys, and I'll do the cheerleading. So, but I've been to a few. It gets extremely loud there. So I'm like, oh my God, you can't hear yourself think. And, but cheerleading, people are like, it's not really a sport. Oh, it's more than a sport. It's like, it's gymnastics, coordinated gymnastics. And with kids that have like big vocal cords, and they can scream really loud, or, do the cheers and stuff. And, they're tumbling and they're doing flips and, holding people up, they're jumping. And so, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The ones that I did get to go to. And so, but no, it's different, but it's a team sport. And and especially when you get to that level where it's a competitive, and they travel. Pretty neat, really neat, actually.
Yeah. Before we let you go, we got to hear a head ball coach story from you. I know you got a couple.
Well, again, like I said, I'm sure all your fans, they've heard probably the majority of them. I mean, the one that I look back and I've heard that Doring told the story, but as far as like head ball coach, as you well know, Shane, he wasn't a big rah-rah guy. He would come in and, kind of give us, all right, guys, we do this, we do that. It's going to take care of itself, and we'll be all right at the end of the game. And, it'll take care of itself. The best one is with, you'd graduated the year before. We're playing our last game in the Sugar Bowl, and coach comes up in front of everybody and does his thing and kind of walks away. And then Red Anderson gets up there and starts, talking about how, we're disrespected by West Virginia and they're undefeated and they should be playing in the national championship game. And he kind of builds it up and one of those, again, everybody's trying to get ready and stay focused, and Red walks kind of in front of me, and how I could know it was Red Anderson is he's pigeon-toed, and he got pigeon-toed right in front of me. I'm like, oh God, please just don't like grab me or whatever. Sure enough, he grabs my shoulder pads and says, this is your last game, Dean. Are you ready for when? And, first thing, yeah, coach, jump up. And, yeah, absolutely, coach. And then he goes on and walks down. And as you well know, the next guy he grabs was Jim Watson. And Jim was a state wrestling champ, 2-time state wrestling champ, heavyweight, and just, was like, just an animal, especially like pregame. And he grabs Watson, and Watson jumps up and says, yeah, coach, and headbutts him. And Red goes down to a knee, man. It goes down to a knee, and it couldn't have been scripted any better. As, the refs come in and Florida, you got to be on the field now. And the place just erupts, grabbing helmets. You're scrambling to get out on the field, and everybody's like fired up. And so anyhow, we come in at halftime, and we're up, 21 or whatever it was. We go to our specific coach, or I think I call Frank St. Carl. We go to our individual, and then we meet up again, and we're making adjustments. And I'm like, "Where's Red at? I want to see him." And I look over there, and Red has this big butterfly across his forehead, where Watson had split his forehead when he headbutted him. And I'm like, "That's awesome. That's just a snapshot in time you'll never forget." So
yeah, there's no question. And then I remember you and I were at South Carolina football camp with our boys when Coach Spurs was the head coach there. And in the middle of the camp, you and I are just being dads sitting under the Gatorade tent, and just out of the blue, Coach walks over and goes, Charlie Dean. I remember when you caught that steamer against Georgia on 3rd and 12. I mean, just out of the blue, that's just the way his mind works.
He's incredible because there's some things that, he would say stuff, especially when we had a reunion. I'm like, I don't remember that, and his mind is so sharp. And so, yeah, that's, you're right. To remember every single play that you've ever called is pretty amazing. Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Well, Charlie, we appreciate you taking the time to join the program today.
Thanks.
Good luck to you and your family. Good luck to the Harvard Crimson and to the Scarlet Knights this year. I know y'all will be on a bunch of planes on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
Want to watch the boys play. And I'm sure you'll be watching some cheerleading events as well. So appreciate it, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right, take care.
Yep, that's Charlie Dean joining us on the Titan MR hotline. What we're going to do is that'll be today's program. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll have a good show lined up. JC will get his hockey talk, and we'll have our Peachland Dentistry golf picks as well. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. South State Bank, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Carter Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.